Hello everyone, this is going to be a short teaser frame for what we're going to be doing in class later today. That is, we're going to be trying a couple of low-key divination methods and talking a little bit about what, why, how, that sort of thing. So after class, there's going to be a lecture framing and discussing other kinds of divination, and I'm going to hit some of the highlights from Ogden so you know where the takeaways are. And that's about it for now. So divination is the fancy word for the various methods that folks use to try to figure out either what's going to happen next or what the gods or God think about what's going on right now. So divination fulfills two functions. One, to communicate with the gods and learn their will. Two, to access the future or the distant. And in many ways, the future is the same thing as distance. It just is distance in time versus distance in space. So on a very quantum plane, that kind of makes sense a little bit. So divination is something that you're familiar with seeing bits of. There's all kinds of folk divination floating around in American culture. If you've ever seen a Ouija board, you've seen a method of divination. You've also seen it in literature. We're looking at one now when Galadriel uses her mirror to contact time and distance. She's using a divination method. In the ancient Mediterranean, divination was a part of mainstream religious ritual, private religious ritual, and also folk practice that was a little bit distant from where they drew the religion line. But it's not something that got people in trouble a lot. This is not true in every culture. In different religious and historical contexts, divination is considered not okay, not cool. And I recognize that that's true for some modern living religious traditions too. So if you fall into this category and we're doing anything that you feel uncomfortable with, reach out to me. We can make tweaks. I'm not going to force you to divine the will of the gods if that's not cool for you. The kind of thing we're going to be simulating is dream interpretation. It's a kind of divination that was considered on the sciencey end of the divination spectrum, which is partly why we're sitting with that. It's one of the more secular varieties in the ancient world, and it's also pretty harmless, but again, not forcing you to contravene your conscience here. So second slide, and this is the end of the lecture. I told you this would be a short one. We're going to talk about the thought of Walter Burkert. This is yet another theoretical thinker, but his ideas are helpful to understanding what academics think about when they think about this kind of magico-religious activity. His theory is centered around this idea of the homo necans, which is Woke's magicae for the human who is killing. This is an idea that divination behavior grows out of the need for humans who are hunters and gatherers to predict the location, either current or future, of their prey. And prey. Yes, their prey. And by doing so, I'll let you see my TA. I didn't put on my face today. I look all weird. So here you go. You can look at him. And this process of interpreting signs in your environment in order to find your prey. So you look at tracks, you look at places where the animals have been before and can be expected to go again. You find sources of food and sources of water that are specific to your prey. And you also engage in ritual behavior that is about your prey. So the earliest human art that we find is the art of prey animals and hunting scenes that also deal with and encapsulate the risk in hunter-gathering. The risk. That's right. You can get eaten by animals, trampled by animals, pushed over cliffs. There are all kinds of things that can go wrong when you go looking for prey. So this constellation of activity, okay, is about trying to control these difficult to control variables in the hunter-gathering process. So the Homo necans, the human being that exists as a predator, is a human being that is using reason and logic to observe their ecology, but also a human being that is faced with the intersection of that which you can and cannot control, and is dealing with a lot of emotions and anxieties surrounding that. So this is a multi-ism nexus here. All right. So as we go into dream interpretation, we're also going to be looking at a kind of randomization as a way for predicting the future or the present. A little bit of a magic 8-ball approach. So we're going to be doing some magic 8-ball stuff, some dream interpretation stuff. I'd like you to keep Burgert's Homo necans present in your mind. Where do you see traces of Homo necans? And where do you see problems with Homo necans? Does this theory, and it is a theory, right, that divination behavior is an outgrowth of a human being as a hunter. Where are the problems with that? Where does it fall short? What does it work well for? What does it not work well for? And how can we use this idea responsibly when trying to understand what it is that we're seeing in ancient texts about divination? So on that happy thought, and on this very short lecture, I leave you guys to contemplate Artemidorus. So read the little teaser for Artemidorus, look at the exercise we're going to be doing later tonight. We'll be using the full version of Artemidorus and the index to take it out for a spin. And that's about it, guys. So take care, buckle up, and welcome to Cycle 3. Cycle 3. Can you say welcome to Cycle 3?
3.
3. 1, 2.
3.
3.
3.
Yay! Are you excited about 3?
Bye-bye.
Aww. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye, students.
Okay.
Okay.